Caitlyn, why are you here?
I am here today, Steve, to prove paternity to my ex-husband, Jarrod, of our 1-year-old daughter, whose birthday is actually today.
Oh.
And he has not seen her since I went home from the hospital with her.
And there's your daughter, spending her birthday in my green room. I don't know if maybe we could get her something, a nice birthday present today.
Thank
so you had her a year ago,
Yes.
and you were married?
Yes.
Now, were you still married when you had your daughter?
Yes.
But since then, you've divorced.
Yes.
And your husband now is denying that he's the father of this child.
Yes. He took off the day I went home with her from the hospital, and it's not the first time he's taken off on me in our marriage. It was the fourth, actually.
And when he takes off, what do you mean? He just leaves, or?
Yeah. We got married a month after knowing each other.
Bad idea.
Yeah, I realize that now. A month after our marriage, he took off the first time.
A month after being married?
Yes.
And you only knew each other a month?
Yes.
So you knew each other, you got married, and he took off?
Yes.
That's kind of a warning sign.
He, yeah, I ignored
And
him
why,
all.
why did he take off?
He would not give me an answer why. I didn't hear from him for a month. I actually filled out the divorce papers. I was ready to file them. Within that first month that he was gone, I had a private investigator following me around. I had people snapping pictures in my windows.
So he took off and he had somebody following you?
Yes.
Why was he having you followed around?
I don't know. I really don't.
Were you cheating on him?
The first month
Yes.
that he had left, and I decided I had enough of it when I figured out somebody was following me. I went out with a couple of
So you said,
girlfriends.
I'm going to give you something to watch.
No, I went out with a couple of girlfriends, and I completely admitted I got drunk and I had a one-night stand. And 2 weeks later or so, we reconciled.
You and your husband?
Yes.
And did you tell him about the one-night stand?
Not at first, no, because we weren't technically together. I
Right.
was, and
But he found out?
yes, I
Through
wound
the-
up telling him. We reconciled, and I found out I was pregnant 2 days later. The conception date,
So
everything.
is it a possibility that the one-night stand
There
could
is
be?
a very small possibility. Very small. We were actually going to move, and before we moved, we decided we were going to take a little trip out of town, get a hotel room, have a nice weekend. I was 4 months pregnant at the time. Then I went into an allergic reaction. I had a severe allergic reaction that ended me up in the hospital. They gave me allergy medication, which made me extremely groggy. I went back to the hotel, went to sleep, woke up the next morning realizing that my legs were sore. I had fluids on me that were not mine. And I woke him up and I said, "What did you do?" And he looked at me and said, "It was like I raped my wife."
So you're saying he raped you?
Yes.
Did you say, why did you do this?
Yeah, I asked him, I said, "Why would you do something like that?" And he said, "I thought you were awake."
And you clearly weren't. And what did you do?
I just was in shock. Sorry.
No, take your time.
I kept asking him why, and at first he was denying it, that I was making up things, that I was just imagining
He was denying that he...
had done anything. I said, "What did you do?" And he said, "I can't explain it. It was like I was raping my pregnant wife." And I said, "Well, you kind of did." So, like a stupid ass, I swept it under the rug, didn't bring it up again.
So you stayed with him?
Yes, I did. The day before we were supposed to move, he took off a second time. Just up and left again.
Why wouldn't you just leave him at this point?
Because I don't believe in divorce.
Was there any other time that he
Yes.
forced himself on you?
Yes. After I told him about the one-night stand, we had sex one night and he decided he wanted to try something different, role-playing, whatever, and I agreed to it. I told him, no hitting, don't hurt me. And he smacked me upside the face. I'm not going to lie, I smacked him back. I don't put up with being hit. And then he had my arms down on the bed and he kept whispering in my ear, "I'm raping you, bitch."
And did you tell him to stop?
I did.
And so you were saying no?
Yeah. I told him to get off of me, and by the time I started crying, he realized I was crying, and he got off of me and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you."
Why would you agree to do that?
He had never shown anything like that before, ever.
Yeah, he did it while you were sleeping.
Cat,
I want answers, Jarrod. You're not going to get
You
away
know.
with the
You
one-word
know.
answers
Throw it all
anymore.
on the side. Throw it all on the side.
The
You
past
know.
is not the past
that-
anymore,
You
Jarrod.
know.
Stop.
You know. I'm gonna tell you right now.
You can't
throw it
just keep
on the side,
yapping
you
on.
all that, but how do I feel? What'd you do to me? What'd you do to me? You ran out.
How did I
Somebody
run out,
else.
Jarrod?
I was committed. I told you
Really?
in the bed,
You were
man.
committed.
I told you later
You were
on.
committed, my
I
ass.
said,
You
look here,
ran
I said,
out.
I told you. I said, do not be unfaithful and don't lie to me. What you doing now?
Yeah, well, you were supposed to stay committed to me in our
Committed?
marriage.
What am I doing
In
now?
our marriage. Where the have you been for the last year?
What did we do? We went
I
out the
had
first
a one-night
chance
stand,
that
and I
you
did
had.
not.
You went out.
Chance you had, you ran like a little bitch.
Let me tell you something. Say what you want. Call me what you want,
You're
man.
right, I'm going to say what I want because I deserve to say this. I deserve answers.
I
Jarrod.
deserve an answer, and you know who deserves the most important answer
My
of them all?
daughter.
Your daughter.
My daughter.
Yeah.
Let me talk to him.
Working. And what happened?
Okay.
I had one chance.
So, you know, you're all upset, right? You know, you can stand up with me. Probably not a good idea to marry somebody after only knowing a month.
Man, I fell for her.
Okay, we all fall for somebody, right? But we take our time. We get to know that person. 1 month?
I tried to lay a foundation, Steve. I tried
Well,
to
how
lay...
about laying a little deeper foundation?
I tried, but it was going to take me more
Okay,
time.
but you know what? Okay, well, that's my whole point. Take a little more time. But you tell me how running away from your marriage, leaving her all alone, how does that help your marriage? How does that help? Where's this great 150% effort?
Because I continued to go back. I continued
After how long?
to try.
After how long? After how long?
As long as it took.
No, that's not an answer.
It was
How
one...
many days were you gone?
I was gone about 1 month.
Okay, so you're together a month, and then you're gone 30 days.
And then she has an affair. So what'd that do to me?
Did you tell her you were leaving?
No, but wasn't it obvious?
Okay, right.
You know what the most important thing is, though? Is that child.
Yeah, I know. Because I see the commitment there. When's the last time you seen that child?
I was about a year
Answer
ago.
the question.
About a year ago, and I was the first
About a
one to
year
change
ago.
the diaper.
So
I
that
was the
child's
first one to-
really important to you.
Yeah, it does. It is important to me.
Oh, yeah, you haven't
Yeah.
seen it in a year.
That is a true statement, yeah.
That is a true statement.
Exactly.
So how important can it be
I'm
your
here,
daughter...
Anna. I'm here to find out the truth.
Okay, so if I walk in on my wife and I come back in a year, oh, well, I'm here.
Yeah. About that.
Where did you go? You don't have a good excuse. You don't have a good reason.
I don't have an excuse.
You don't have a reason why
There
you
is no
abandoned your
excuse, man.
wife and your child. You know what? I'm sorry. I don't mean to be insensitive, but let's forget about her. Let's forget about her. She's a grown woman.
Can I have a seat?
She could, no, you cannot sit on my stage. I don't even care anymore why you left, because you're not going to tell me. So let's get down to the really important thing. Your daughter. I'm wondering, in the year that you've been gone, what does your daughter like to eat? How many doctor visits has your daughter had? How many vaccinations has she had? How many teeth does she have? Is she walking? Do you know why you don't know these things? Because you haven't been there. You're not there. And why?
I felt like she
Just say I was wrong. Just say, you know what, Steve? I'm wrong.
for not feeling loved.
Say I'm wrong.
I was wrong.
Did the
for what
baby
I
not
did, yes.
make you feel loved? The
I
baby
was
didn't
wrong.
do that?
I was wrong for leaving. That is
Okay,
correct.
there
yes.
we go. I will continue with my examination. She says you raped her. Did you rape her?
No.
Did you have sex with her when she was unconscious?
No.
With her eyes closed? Did you have sex with her when her eyes were closed and she wasn't responsive?
No.
No?
It's like a man said, man, it was a bad night of sex. That's what it was.
A bad night of sex.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Describe it for me. Was she in a state where she was talking to you? Yes or no?
No.
No. Was her eyes open? Answer truthfully. Was she coherent?
Yeah, she was coherent.
She was coherent.
Yeah.
You said she wasn't speaking to you. How could she be coherent? Did you rape her?
No.
What would you call it?
A mistake.
Sounds like rape. You're very lucky she didn't press charges against you. I think you made a lot of mistakes, and I could be wrong, but I think you're realizing what you did. Why don't you say something to her? I'm going to give you a chance to redeem yourself a little bit.
I don't want you to have hatred towards me.
That's selfish.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
You can say you're sorry as many times as you want. I don't believe a damn thing you say.
I don't know what part of reality you live in, you son of a bitch, but you know how hard it is to sit back there and listen to my daughter tell me how you raped her? And you're going to sit there and say you didn't? You're a liar. You're a liar. And I'm going to tell you something else, Jarrod. I pray to God that baby is not yours. Because any sick son of a bitch that would do that to my daughter when she just gets out of the hospital will hurt my granddaughter. You're never going to be around her, ever. Don't sit there and tell me how you tried so hard the first year you were married. I'm the one that supported your ass. You didn't. You lived with me, remember, Jarrod? Remember the $1,000 I gave you to pay your car payment? Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Remember all the groceries I bought? Remember the gas? Remember the gambling money? Do you remember that? You lived with me, you ass!
Like it was yesterday.
Cut it. This ends now. I don't care if you're her father or not. I pray to God you're not. You're sick, and I don't want anybody that's going to do that to my daughter anywhere near my granddaughter, and I don't want you near her ever again. And if you're entertaining any thoughts of you two getting back together, it ain't going to happen.
Did Jarrod ever have sex with you while you were incapacitated? You said yes. Did Jarrod ever tell you he was raping you during role play? You answered yes. And the results of her lie detector test is that she told the truth. But you basically admitted to that already. I mean, you confessed to our lie detector examiner. You told Caitlyn you were raping her. Even in role playing, it concerns me that you'd want to rape your wife.
That was her idea, bro.
It's a sickening thing. Did you hire private investigator to spy on her? Did you?
No.
No? Have you ever had sex with Caitlyn while she was, you admitted that already, when she was unconscious. Have you ever used excessive force on Caitlyn while you were having sex? Never used excessive force? No. You failed that lie detector test.
Oh, my God.
All right. There is a possibility you're not the father. As you say, there's a small
I
chance.
prepared myself for both answers, so.
All right. You took a DNA test before the show? The results for your DNA test is that Jarrod is not the father.
I called you, Steve, for help because I watch your show all the time.
somebody's going to watch this and say, you know what, she was brave enough to do that, I can do that too.